Many games today are fun to the point of addiction, and many are easy to play and help you relax. In many of these games, you could build yourself up into becoming a complete unit, or even straight up build an empire. And you can do this safely, because the game developers had it in mind that after however many hours, be it hundreds or thousands, you would feel accomplished seeing all that you've earned for yourself after putting in so many hours to get there. All the grinding it took to get to the top with the best weapons and armor, or the most passive income of resources, the best base you could build yourself. Those games are typically made for you to get to the end and feel like a complete boss, where nothing stands in your way, and you are essentially the apex predator. Which, in most games, eventually, you would be too strong, and it would get boring milking the endgame. Sometimes you'd even restart just to build yourself up again. Imagine a type of game where you are pretty much never the apex predator, and the definition of winner doesn't really exist. You could have the best of weapons and armor, and it still might not save you. Imagine a game that doesn't forgive you, and it's not entirely up to you if you keep playing it. Imagine a game that takes it all away from you if you let it. This is Don't Starve, and Don't Starve is Permadeath. Permadeath is the boogeyman when it comes to gaming. In these games, when you die, you either lose your character, like Zombie, you remember that, your save file, like Don't Starve, or both, permanently, gone for good, like Don't Starve. It's pretty much no different from a corrupt save file in that it takes everything from you. All the work you put in, all the loot you fought for, all the moments where in an attempt to keep going and to win, or survive for longer, the game puts you into a roller coaster of emotions from a near-death experience, near deletion, and all the real-life hours it took to get to the end. Whether the end is death or winning, depending on the game. Don't Starve doesn't really have an end, and you are pretty much left on your own for as long as you stay alive. As bad as Permadeath sounds with its lack of a safety net, it does feel more rewarding to be wealthy or powerful in one of these games, and makes the day-to-day fight to simply live feel more earned, more so than the games that allow you to fight day-to-day for wealth and invincibility without the fear of losing it all with a safety net. Permadeath is scary. I wouldn't call it a difficulty, I would call it a punishment. It doesn't make a game hard, it just punishes you for losing a hard game. Which, if you lose a game that has permadeath, you'll lose everything and have to restart completely. Some games have a permadeath mode which is tied in with their hardest difficulty. Like Dead Space's hardcore difficulty, for example, which only gives you a certain amount of saves throughout your playthrough, mixed in with harder enemies and less health for the player. Some games are what I call true permadeath, where the game was made with one difficulty in mind and there are no saves. You only get one shot. Every game varies in difficulty, and when it comes to Don't Starve, I would say it's not that hard of a game. It's not like Dark Souls where you need to have some skill. Don't Starve is more of a knowing type of game. Like knowing when the seasons change, what to do before and during each season, how to get certain important items and when you can get them, how to properly fight, what you can and can't eat, and what to do when a train wreck decides to happen, which it will, such as life.
Oh, we don't have a... Dude! We don't even have enough wood. Oh my god, dude, can you fuck off? Are you shitting me? It struck me 3 times in a row? Are you fucking kidding me? Well, we just died. I give up.
This video isn't meant to be a guide on Don't Starve. This video will be about the many challenges I face while trying to beat the game's only kind of story mode, with the threat of permadeath always in our face, and the lasting gratification and self-achievement that can only come from permadeath games. Here is the beauty of Don't Starve's permadeath. There are no easy, medium, hard, or expert modes in the game. Don't Starve is one difficulty alone, which pretty much relies on RNG. There is something you can do to make the game easier or harder for yourself though. World customization. You can pick which season you start in, the lengths of the seasons, and the likelihood of monsters spawning. And in addition to that, we also have a pool of characters to choose from that are either going to help in some way or get you killed. These characters are Wilson. He grows hair, also chokes his chicken. He's the mascot of the game. Willow, who is immune to fire damage, has a lighter, which sucks, and drops hot matches when she's nervous that light your whole base on fire, which fucking sucks. Wolfgang. He gets stronger the fuller he keeps his belly. At max, he's an alpha, and he bought property in Egypt. And when he's hungry, he can't hit for shit. Also, he's scared of monsters and the dark. Wendy, who's haunted by her dead sister, which will be doing all the ass kicking for you because she is the weakest character and can't do shit on her own. Also, she's cool at the dark. WX-78 is a robot who will eat almost anything, even if it's rotting food that smells bad. He also gets stronger if you give him gears, he will be way faster if you manage to get struck by lightning, and he dies slowly if it's raining. Wickerbottom. When you were in school, she was definitely the teacher that told you to go to the office for no reason, and when you asked why, she would say, "You know why," and never tells you why. She has the knowledge that lets her craft things without needing certain in-game tools. She also has her own books with their own abilities. She can't sleep, which sucks, and she also loses her mind if you waste food. Woody. Here we have the schizophrenic, who talks to an axe. That's not a joke. His axe talks to him, and says to chop more wood. He likes it. Also, he freaking transforms into a werebeaver if he lets the voices win, or chops too much wood, or on a full moon. He has night vision and some better stats. Also, he can eat anything with wood and some grass. Plus, he doesn't suffer from weather conditions. He would eat more pallets than a wraith in Dead by Daylight.
Wow. Throw more boards. More boards. I need more boards. More boards. More boards. More boards. Wow, we need more boards. We need more boards. Give me the boards. I want the boards. Now you guys literally have no more boards. Oh my god, there are more boards.
I wish Woody was there. Wes. He's a mime, so he doesn't talk. He's also ass. Even the game says he has trouble staying alive. He's meant for challenge runners in case this game wasn't bullshit enough. Also, he has balloons, which cost a lot of sanity to even use, but at least they blow up and hurt monsters. Very, very lightly. It hurts you too. Also, he hits as hard as Wendy, but he doesn't have a cool dead sister. He's a mime. Also, unlocking him is bullshit. You have to get halfway through beating the game, get a giant key, and fight some big boy, and for all that you get a mime. Maxwell. He's evil. We'll talk about him later. And Wagstaff. He's blind, but he has goggles and some of his own inventions that can help him. His goggles have different abilities. Also, he has a weak stomach and shits himself if he eats bad food. Wigfrid. She's a bit overpowered and makes the game actually easy-ish. She spawns in with her own spear, which does more damage than a normal spear, her own helmet, which is good, and 4 meat, for free. Also, when she kills an enemy, she gains back some sanity and health, so going insane with her can be hard sometimes, unless you're wet. Her only downside is, she does not eat anything that isn't meat, which is like no problem at all. And then there's Weber. He was a kid that got eaten by a spider, and halfway the spider just gave up and they morbed. He basically has spider friends, which won't care if you chill at their nests, but the pigs do, and the beefalo do too, and bunnymen, which is another thing that hates us, but at least he grows a beard, which is worse than Wilson's. His grows silk, which is pretty much a commodity. All characters are fine and die just as painfully. Your plan is to make it as long as possible. The harder you fight, the worse it gets. When you start to dominate the wild dogs, the tentacles, the spider queens, and even the trees, then you will come to see all the worst things. If you don't starve.
Oh my god, no.
The story goes, a guy named Wilson, a mad scientist, is trying to invent something one day, and it blows up in his face. Soon after that, he feels defeated, resting in his chair, pitying himself, sucking as much as he does. Then, a sweet voice over the radio, which isn't even plugged into the wall, tells him the secret recipe for a devious invention. We get to work on this contraption and we see it to be a door. Wilson, even in his depraved mind, was a bit anxious that maybe his branch of science went too far. The voice pressured him into pulling the lever, and he did so. The door extends itself, and it resembles the face of the evil that pushed Wilson into the whole ordeal. The door turns out to be a portal. It sucks Wilson through it, sending him to a world that hates us very much so. We wake up, and before us is this tall guy whose name is Maxwell. He basically just calls us ugly and then shits himself, and the game has started. Don't die, and don't starve. The first thing I do is collect everything around me. Flint, grass, and sticks I use to make tools, then I can gather some wood. The tricky thing off the bat is I don't pick up any food, like carrots and berries, because as Wigfrid, I can't eat anything other than meat. So I'll have to live off the meat the game gives you when you start as her, then I'll have to get my own. And that's our first goal, is to survive long enough to find a pig village. There's a 50-50 chance if you spawn in spring or fall. I prefer fall, so that's why the game dropped me in spring. Here are the challenges with spring. Beefalo mating season, don't get close to them or they will turn hostile. All the bees go from a neutral state to a hostile state and will try to kill you the same as beefalo. All rabbit dens are collapsed and won't be able to live off rabbits unless we destroy the source. And then we have the rain. In spring, the rain is very consistent and will extinguish your fire much quicker. Any meat you happen to be drying won't be able to, as it's always wet, and if you get too wet from the rain, you'll start to lose sanity much easier. With more rain brings more lightning, which it will try its hardest to hit you at some point, especially your whole base too, burning it to the ground right after. But the one thing I hate the most about spring are the frog rains. They happen occasionally, and when they do, you better be ready for war. If you hit one, you pick the fight with all of them, and you cannot stun lock them. And during the season, the goose moose roams. And of course, don't stay in the dark. As it gets dark, I should probably tell you about Charlie, the monster in the dark. It's funny the game's name is Don't Starve, since starving will be the least of your concerns, and I think the developers knew that when making the game. It's like they say it sarcastically, knowing that there are so many things we try to watch out for that we might end up forgetting to eat. There are many threats that try to kill us in this game. The lore of Don't Starve goes deep, but for a long story short, there is a girl named Charlie, and she lives in the dark, waiting for us. And if we live in the dark for too long, she will kill us. But that's only one thing out of the many that we'll try. While trying to find a pig village, we need to spend as little days as possible, and when looking for a village, the best thing you'll want to see is a brick road, which most of the time will lead you to a pig village. I got lucky and found a brick road pretty quickly while getting some rocks on the way. At the end of this road, we did end up getting a pig village, but it's not the one I want. In the game, there are two kinds of pig villages, one that has no king and one that does. I want to live in the one that has a pig king because you can trade a bunch of stuff with them and get gold, which is a very important item in this game. Especially for Wigfrid because her helmet and weapon need gold to craft. It's pitch black out right now since the sun has went down, and what I'm doing is very dangerous. I'm running through the dark with no light, which drains my sanity very quickly, and also, Charlie sees me. Anytime we're in the darkness, she sees us and goes in for an attack, but before she does, I whip out my torch so I don't get hit. Why I do this is so I can cover as much ground as fast as I can during the night without having to camp. That was Charlie. Following the brick road and getting some rocks on the way until the sun comes up with rain coming down on top of us, I finally found my Pig King village. This is where I'm building my base, for more than one reason. The Pig King's gold, the pig villagers I like harvesting for meat, and the villagers are also going to act as a kind of home protection against wildlife, like wolves. We got lucky again with beefalo living so close to the village, which is a more dangerous way of getting meat, but also getting wool, which we will need for clothes when winter comes around. Spring is one of the 2 seasons where you need to prepare for the upcoming challenging season, and it can get kind of boring this time in the game, but there's a lot to do. The next upcoming season is summer, which is the season I hate the most. It's definitely hard for me because I don't know the best way to combat it and stay cool. But during the month of spring, we have large blocks of ice I'm going to have to find and keep refrigerated in preparation for summer. And on top of that, I'm going to have to build a base. While I look for some ice, I'm also outlining the world we spawned in and gain as much ground as I can before summer comes. While I do that, let's talk about some of the wildlife in this world that I'm going to have to struggle with. On top of the darkness, we have many other things that include packs of wolves that come unprovoked at random, some even being able to freeze you and burn you and your whole base down, walruses, tall birds, penguins if you take their eggs or smack them, pigmen if they turn into werepigs and if you smack them, bats, Krampus, bees, a warg, which is just the king of wolves followed by a wolf pack, nightmares, beefalo in the spring when they're in heat, and if you smack them, spiders, spider queens, clockwork machines, fishmen, tentacles, plus lightning, and many more just to name a couple. While I walk around the edge of the map to highlight the world we spawned in, I got into a scrap with some hillbilly fishmen and had to fight off some nightmares when it got late. The next day I loop back around to my base and make our first science machine. Now we're able to make better tools and a large pool of equipment. An important asset to our life, but an alchemy engine is the next machine on our list. But that requires even more stones and gold than a science machine. I start burning some trees down so we can get charcoal, which is good for fire fuel, but I need it for drying racks so we can get beef jerky. And crock pots, which are used to make the best foods in the game. After walking around, we find a spider nest we can farm for silk, monster meat, and spider glands. And just above the nest, we have a swamp biome. I like and hate this biome. Hate it because of how scary it sounds at night and how hard it is to see the tentacles that hide beneath the mud like landmines. But this biome has some things we're gonna want, like papyrus. We need that for bird cages, which are just a way to recycle bad meat into smaller edible meat. Plus, the swamp biomes like to have fishmen, spiders, and tentacles everywhere, which is very dangerous for us, but at the same time, they all like to fight each other once they're close enough. Because of that, this biome can give us a lot of free food, weapons, and resources, but only if the RNG is good. And right next door to the swamp is a savanna with cacti, vault goats, wolves everywhere, and tumbleweeds. This biome has a ton of rocks and gold, which we need for our alchemy engine, and a lot of other important stuff like our weapon and armor. I really like getting these tumbleweeds because they can hold a lot of sticks and grass, plus blueprints if you're lucky.
I really like tumbleweeds because there's no telling what you're gonna get. You can even get a gnome. Oh, look, there he is! My small peculiar man.
Also, I ran into a wolf den. It gets dark and it starts raining and the dogs keep coming and I'm about to start starving because I have no food, but I need these rocks and gold because they're some of the most important items in the game. I built a fire to fight off the night, but I thought I'd save some time and do some exploring at night. There was a wormhole I found and hopped through it, tossing me somewhere more south on the map. Usually this helps in covering more ground around the map, but this hole wasn't very long and threw me back in the swamp. It took all day, but we make it back to our base with relative ease, and the first thing I do now that I have monster meat is turn a pig villager into a werepig. This is probably the best way to get meat in the game, or at least my favorite way of doing it. When you kill a pig villager, you get either 1 meat or 1 pig skin. But killing a werepig, you get 1 pig skin and 2 meat. All you have to do is feed it 4 monster meat or wait a full moon. But this way is safer and more convenient, plus this is a great way of recycling monster meat since we can't eat it without dying. Now that we have enough rocks to turn into cut stone, and rocks plus gold to turn into electrical doodads, we can finally have our alchemy engine. Now we're able to make all the farming recipes and most of the tools possible. It's a better science machine, so we can afford to break down the science machine and use the parts for something else. I'm starting to starve and I have no food, so I build us a fridge to hold the food we don't have, a crock pot to use for later, and another drying rack to start farming beef jerky. I also steal this pig's innocence.
No, don't do it!
God decided he hates me and struck me with lightning, and because I was too close to my wooden chest, it caught on fire and all my stuff flew out of it. I start to revoke some of the pigs' living privileges and tear down their houses for materials to build more pig houses and move them farther from my base, while also chasing away shadows that try to extinguish my fire. I'm really low on food, so I prank my neighbors into dying, and also nibbled on a beefalo and pissed them all off. About a day goes by with nothing special happening. We just chopped some trees down and took some stick saplings with us to have a stick farm at our base. While nothing special is going on, I should say that it's been pretty easy going so far, and we found the pig village pretty quickly, but something that's unfortunate is how we haven't gotten any ice saved for summer, the next month. Staying cool in summer and keeping things not on fire is going to be tricky, especially without ice for an ice flingomatic, which extinguishes wildfires. Also, I completely forgot to mention the multiple things I need to keep in check. I need to watch my hunger, sanity, and health. If I run out of hunger, I will start to die. Health, I die. Sanity will make me want to die, because that sucks when it happens, with all the nightmares chasing me around and killing me, and my fire. Also, I have to be dry, which is another thing on top of those. If I get too wet, I'll get cold. My sanity will drop, and items in my hand will literally fly out of my inventory, making me go pick it back up. I came up to this spider nest to get some silk, spider glands for healing, and monster meat, but I hit one too close to the nest and got bombarded by the whole nest. My helmet also broke, and now I don't have any armor. God also tried to prank me with lightning again. I actually found a suspicious dirt pile, which is always the footprint of a large animal that can be either bad, or really good, if I track it down by following its footprints. While following these footprints, I'm hoping I don't run into two of three things: a Varg, the king of wolves, and a Yukis. The only thing I want from these is a koalefant, which will give a ton of meat and an ingredient for a really good piece of clothing for wintertime. It's a full moon tonight, so I don't need to worry about the darkness. It is raining really hard, and I'm soaked to the bone, so it's getting harder to keep a hold of my tools, and I'm getting cold enough to start freezing to death. So I have to light some trees on fire to warm myself, then bounce to the next tree, and so on. Being soaked has lowered my sanity enough for me to start seeing nightmares, and now they've started to attack me right before dark, which now they're much harder to see. Killing the nightmare gave me back a lot of sanity, and my sight became clearer. Perfect time too, since I found a part of the map that was loaded with tier 2 spider nests, and I kill as many as I can even after my weapon broke, so now I have to fight with an axe, which doesn't do much damage. Loaded on meat and silk, I made my way back to the first village I came across while it was a full moon, and I guess some pigs were outside when the sun went down, so they all turned into were-pigs, and I got into a big brawl, which left me with no armor and no real weapon. And while I was tearing the houses down for materials, I got gang spanked by more were-pigs and someone's dog. We're about halfway through spring, and I'd like to get some necessities for my base before summer hits. During summer, I just focus on staying alive, and I don't tend to do too much since the summer heat will be too dangerous to do much. In fact, a year in Don't Starve is 70 days, which takes about 9.5 real-life hours. Winter and summer are the worst parts of the game, and they both last about 2 hours each. But don't think those 2 hours will fly by. Actually, they drag on, and feel like it takes forever, because these 2 seasons require some preparation beforehand, and you are passively dying and won't last an actual day if you lack the essentials. Also, this game has bosses. Imagine needing wood in a game where you need wood, and you just start smacking a tree. Well, what would you do if even the tree got pissed off? That is called a tree guardian. There are 2 types, and there is no way of telling when one will spawn. Plus, you have a bigger boss for each of the 4 seasons. For winter, the deer clops, spring, the goose moose, half moose. The fall would be the bearger, and in the summer, the worst one out of all of them would be the dragonfly. And that's just the surface too, by the way. We haven't even talked about the stuff that hates us underground, and especially the bigger stuff in the labyrinth, which also has the Ancient Guardian, another boss.
I just died. Fuck!
Just thought I should explain that because I'm getting very close to the day the goose moose tends to spawn. But then again, I do have a chance the boss won't spawn, so there's no guarantee I'll run into it. For the past few days, I've stayed near my base the whole time and chopped some trees down and built new pig houses with nothing interesting happening. No boss, no wolves, aside from occasional nightmares due to my sanity being low enough. The base is looking good so far. We have multiple chests worth of stuff, drying racks, a crock pot, fridge, grass and stick farms, bird cage, lightning rod, and even an eye bulb farm, which are plants that attack anything near them, which is good for hostile mobs. Going up to the spider nest I found, it's turned into a tier 3 nest, which is the most dangerous as it has the largest radius, most spiders, and has a chance to spawn a spider queen, which is a mini boss. After that, I'm loaded on spider glands, monster meat, and silk, and because I destroyed a tier 3 hive, it drops the nest for me to keep and put anywhere I want. Now I have what I need for a silk, meat, healing farm. I found a koalaphant.
Get your ass back here, boy!
Started getting bit by some dogs, but instead of sticking my fingers up their asses, I let my Venus dog traps eat them alive. While I was out exploring, I found a couple graves and I dug them up for some junk to trade with the Pig King. That was something I didn't mention earlier, is the reason why I prefer Pig King villages is you can dig up graves for useless stuff and trade to the Pig King for a lot of gold, which is needed for Wigfrid's weapon and armor, plus all of the other tools and machines. The only downside to doing this is it's terrible on your sanity, and you could get attacked by ghosts. Found another tier 3 spider nest. Me and this fat pig I found are gonna take them all on. He just fucked up and died. Now I'm getting chased by every spider I've ever seen. Found a graveyard and ruined my sanity getting rich. And then I found a touchstone. So this is pretty important. Now that I've activated a touchstone, if I were to die, I would respawn here. These are very rare. I've only ever found 2 in one world, and they are only one use. So if I die, I can't use this again. This is one of 3 ways you can escape death in the game. The other 2 being the meat effigy and the life-giving amulet. The meat effigy is something you can build and respawn at upon death, but having one will lower your maximum HP, which can stack. So if you have multiple, then you're cutting your health down permanently each time until the effigy is destroyed. And the life-giving amulet is a necklace you can find that will resurrect you on the spot if you're wearing it. I was very close to dying here. I was getting chased by 2 nightmares while it turned nighttime, and I had to build a fire so I could fight, but had no armor to take any hits. And I couldn't build a fire with them both chasing me. But somehow I got a chance to make a fire, and I barely got out of that while being about 1 shot away from dying. I got lucky here. In the quarry biome, you could have icebergs spawn, which is how you get ice, and I got it right before summer started. So now, if I get enough, I'll be able to make an ice fling-o-matic, which will help with the wildfire problem I'm soon to have. I found a huge spot with about 10 tier 3 spider hives. And I pay a visit to my sugar mama. Also, this is our pet bird, Bateman. He helps us live. Leave a like for Bateman. For the last day of spring, I had nothing left to do, aside from gather some bees and start a bee box farm. But it being spring made all the bees mad, so I'll have to do that another season. And when the sun rises one more time, I'll know for a fact that I am done with spring. And now I have started the hardest season in the game. This season is going to be a simple one. Hot as fuck. I'm looking at packs of red hounds, heat damage, fires every day, wilted crops, so no sticks or grass farm if I don't fertilize them, hardly any rain, food spoils 25% faster, and in this season, the dragonfly roams. Starting the season off with a couple of puppies. It's too early for red hounds, so good for me. Grabbing all the sticks and grass I can before they all start drying up. I got some ice gears and gold together to make an ice fling-o-matic. That way anything within this thing's radius that catches on fire will be extinguished and crops will be watered. The only thing that sucks about it is if my fire is within its radius, it will extinguish my fire too, leaving me in the pitch black dark. I only walked away from my base a short distance and I'm already starting to die of heat exhaustion. And I tried to hide in the shade of these trees to cool off since I have no clothing built for this temperature. This is how it's going to be for me until I can get some better clothes. What I'm doing now is catching some butterflies and bees to build some bee boxes so I can have honey, which is a perfect way to turn monster meat edible and to get the most out of normal meat using the crock pot. It gets dark and I have to rush home. I can't just build a normal fire or catch trees on fire for light anymore. Since it's summer, the only light I'm going to want is from my endothermic fire pit. It's a cold fire and it won't let me overheat. You can tell it's cold because it's blue. I actually just found another touchstone, so if we have an accident, I'll respawn here. But only once, then it's destroyed, and then I piss off a bunch of bees. In order for me to get some bee boxes, I also need to destroy some beehives for their honeycombs.
Come on, you motherfucker!
This is what I end up doing the whole day, is punching a beehive and running to the nearest tree, over and over until I get enough honeycombs and bees. It gets dark and I have to make a long track all the way back home while dying of heat exhaustion the whole way. I finally get my first bee box. Now I need to get some butterflies and I can start harvesting some honey. My tree almost caught on fire, so I taught it a lesson by cutting it down. It was a full moon and I thought I'd go adopt a new pet. His name's Glommer. I got attacked by some dogs and Glommer died. I got attacked by Krampus too. Now that I have enough honey, I threw a bunch of it in the crock pot with some monster meat so I can make honey nuggets, because monster meat can't kill you if you can't taste it. Throughout summer, I don't do too much aside from staying at home and pranking my neighbors to death. I build them some houses so they forgive me. For some reason, my ice fling-o-matic froze these pigs. My tree caught on fire and completely engulfed my whole tree farm. I still got that one though. One thing I forgot to mention about endothermic fires is because they are cold, you can't cook anything off them. So far I'm doing good enough to be alive. One thing I can't help though is the potential dragonfly spawning. Last season we didn't get a boss, but this season could be different, and it could be terrible. They got sick of my pranks and they all ganged up on me. Instead of sticking my fingers up their assholes like I always do, I led them to my Venus pig trap and they actually beat the shit out of them. So I led them to my other Venus pig trap and they got so bored they went home. Felt bad about the whole Venus pig trap controversy, so I built them another house. This butterfly was gonna catch on fire, so I snapped his neck. I found another koalefant. At one point I also made a miner hat so I can do stuff at night. I made myself a siesta lean-to, which allows me to skip the day by chilling under it. Really helps with summer so I don't have to put up with the heat. And the first thing I hear when I wake up...
Oh my god, it's still coming. Oh shit. Dude, do you hear that? Dude, that thing is so ungodly pissed. This is gonna take away everything. Oh. Dude, look at the top left corner. Look at the top left corner. It's already been here. Look at those houses. Or no, wait, it might not have already been here, but all the freaking pig houses just fucking turned on fire. Oh no, look at the houses, they're already burnt. Dude, the pigs are gonna go extinct. We're not gonna have any pig people. Oh no, we're not gonna have any pig people. We're so shit on. We're shit on, he's here. We're so fucked. We're so fucked. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. Okay. Okay. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. You are fools. You are fools. Okay. Hold on a minute. I put the pig to sleep. Okay, he's... I didn't know I put it to sleep. I didn't know that was a possibility. What do? I don't even have armor. I have a helmet. Or I don't even have a helmet. I have no armor. This is gonna be it. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Get away from me! Oh my god, he slapped me! This is fucked. I'm dead. All we can do is run. Oh shit. Oh my god! Help me, pigs! Oh shit. That's all the health we have, dude. Oh wait. We have 2 resurrecting stones, but the thing is we're gonna die by the time we get back, most likely. Dude, this just ruined the run. Look at him eating ash. Look at him just sucking up the ash. Dude, we can't kill that.
Our base is fine at least, but the dragonfly took almost every house, which is fixable, so this outcome ended up being not that bad. Aside from having literally 2 health points at one point, I'm able to make a comeback. This time. When I put it to sleep and went to my base, something must have happened in the game, but the dragonfly despawned. Lucky me. Taking in all the damage, I go for the hammer and take down all these burnt-ass houses and plan to rebuild the village. Found some dogs. Got into a friendly fight to the death with these spiders because I want their house, but everything felt like catching on fire. And I mean everything. Even this dude's house.
Same shit, different day.
My homeboy acted as a distraction so I could steal this spider nest. Miner hats are so cool because now I don't need a fire, which would just overheat me. I also beat up all these spiders and take their house. Also take my homeboy's old house. I take everybody's house. I felt like pulling off a hit and run with these spiders and then I haul my ass back home. I have a few spider dens I can place down, so now I can have a really big monster meat farm, silk, and spider gland farm. And I invite them to the neighborhood. Felt bad about taking my homie's house, so I built a random person a new one. After all that, this summer wasn't all that bad after all. And with the final night of summer, brings us the first day of the easiest season in the game. Autumn. Immediately start the month off right by pranking my neighbors. Then I break down this tier 3 spider nest and put it somewhere else. The spiders also found my Vita's spider trap. We're also doing really good on food. Felt bad about building them so many houses, so I built them another house. I keep getting snowballs thrown at me, somebody help. Found another qualifiant. Wait! Laced up to a bunch of squatters. In the season of fall, there's nothing really to do aside from explore and prepare for winter, but there isn't much you can do to prepare for winter aside from getting food and hoping I run into the bearger. If I do kill the bearger, I'll get the warmest clothing in the game. I needed rocks, so I went to the savannah where all the dogs live and got attacked by dogs. A lot of dogs. I even found a red dog. Look at all these tumbleweeds! Really racking up the meat supply for winter. While I was in the savannah, I found us another gnome. Made myself a prestidigitator. I don't know why. Decided I would try again to be a responsible dad. Glommer is really interesting. He provides very flammable, really good fire fuel whenever he decides to poop it out. I was following the suspicious dirt pile, but instead of food, I found a Euctus. He kept hogging loogies at my forehead, then running up and headbutting me. And he even broke my helmet and actually almost killed me. I also stole his snot rocket. Found a tall bird and beat his ass and stole his egg because nobody said I couldn't. Found another gnome. Found a walrus camp, which is going to be very important when winter comes. Neighbors came over and ate all my dog's poop. I built a tent which will let me sleep through the night and restore some health and sanity, but empty my stomach when I wake up in the morning. Then something scary happened. I got rushed by a red hound that will explode upon death, and I wanted to get it away from my base, but my dog shit eating neighbors started punching it and burnt down my bee boxes and all my sticks.
There we go. Alright. Come get some. Oh my god, that's a freaking... No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, my sticks! Turn it on! Oh my god. There go every single one of our sticks and our bee boxes. No!
That's gonna take a while to fix. Found a top hat. Ran into a bunch of squatters having a turf war with the natives. And before I could fight off the natives, a bearger spawned.
Here he comes. It's a bearger. Oh, he's beating up a tentacle. Oh, he just smacked my ass. Ouch. He just hit. Do you see that? He just swung at me and killed the tentacle behind him like a Chad. You can only get 2 hits off. Oh my goodness. I shouldn't have done that. Oh. 1, 2. We're kiting him. Oh, shit. Okay, never mind. I'll take it back. Wilton, help. 1, 2. Oh. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2. 3. Oh, I keep forgetting, dude. Okay, 1. 2. 2. 3. 1. 2. 3. Okay, so he does his grand slam after every third one. We can get 3 hits off. No, you can't. Don't do that again. Okay. You can't do it on the grand, just on the slam. Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! We did it! We did it! Wilton's revenge! Wilton's revenge!
With the bearger dead, I got a ton of meat and his fur, which is an ingredient for the warmest clothing in the game, so winter is going to be much less of a hassle for me now. The bearger is a pretty easy fight. He's at his worst when he's near your base because he does a ground slam and destroys everything near him, so great for me for being as far away from my base as I was. This is what I was talking about a long time ago, about how this is the best biome for free food, with all the fishmen and spiders having a fight over who gives the best head. I found some vault goats face planted into the dirt. That's how they sleep. Vault goats don't really do much. The only stuff that you get from them dying is like meat plus their horn, which their horn is used for a morning star, which is both a light and a weapon, which is pretty good, but I don't like killing vault goats. And then I found the friendliest of all friends.
You son of a bitch!
Chester is a mobile chest, and that's it. He has 2 other forms, a larger Chester and a freezer Chester, so a portable fridge. He's awesome, aside from always getting in the way when I try to kill something. He likes getting killed. Aww. I came home to a lot of my food rotted.
Oh no!
This place is becoming a fucking nut house. The cold starts to creep in. I've also gotten so insane that the rabbits have turned into little monsters and now I'm hunting them down for their beard hair. I wanted to start building walls around my base, so I started getting as many rocks as I possibly could. Found a qualiphant, and then some dogs found me too.
Help me!
It starts to get so cold I start freezing to death. And I get ambushed at night by a bunch of spiders. The leaves have fallen off the trees, I'm getting burned from the cold, and the world turns blue. And I am so far from my base. This is the final season. This is winter. In winter, crops grow slower, bees are inactive, character will freeze, I'll have walrus search parties, the night is longer, blue hounds will spawn and freeze me, and in this season, the Deerclops roams. The first thing I do is run straight from this biome and over to the walrus camp I found a few days ago, and hope I get a very specific item before the cold really starts to come in. There's a dad, a kid, and 2 blue hounds. I took the dad out pretty quick, then the blue hounds and the fat kid ran inside. This time I didn't get the item, but what I'm looking for is a walrus tusk, which can be made into a walking stick to boost my speed by 2 times. Pay a visit to my sugar mama. I grabbed that bear fur that I made him give me, and used it to craft the Hibernation vest. This is the warmest clothing in the game. I felt like building walls. My fortress is now complete, and now all the pigs are gonna have a much harder time figuring out how to sneak in and eat my dog shit. Look how pretty a full moon is during winter. I guess a bunch of beefalo moved in close to my spider nest, so I got scared the beefalo would go extinct, so I eradicated my tier 3 nest and moved it somewhere else. Kinda got sick of my neighbors peeking over my walls, so I pranked them to death like old times. I go back to see if the walrus camp had respawned and try again at a walrus tusk. Same thing as before, I didn't get one. I lit a stick on fire to stay warm and caused a whole forest fire. Oops. Got jump scared by a bunch of penguins. They didn't like this tentacle in particular. Started to freeze to death even with the hibernation vest on. Got jump scared again.
Come on, you motherfucker. Come on, you motherfucker.
Winter being the final season means I'm pretty much going to have an easy time with it because I've already prepared myself for the past 3 seasons, and just like in summer, I'm going to chill out at my base for as long as I can. The only thing that can drag me out of the safety I got going for myself are 3 things. A walrus tusk, which you can only get in winter, boredom, or the Deerclops. And then I went to go prank the beefalo for a change. And then I got pranked by some blue hounds. When you kill 2 blue hounds, you get frozen, so it's a good thing it was way more than just 2 hounds. I have to catch a lot of fireflies to refuel my miner hat, and of course I have to do it in the dark, which just pisses off Charlie. Made a hat, built myself a suburb, kept getting my ass beat in Call of Duty, so I doxed the kid, went to his house, and beat the shit out of him. Still didn't get the tusk. After a couple days, I go back to the walrus camp, beat his ass, and then I get his tusk. Now I can finally make the walking stick. Finally, the snow starts to melt and everything starts to get just a little bit warmer. Felt like going and pranking my spiders as usual, but this time they brought their mom, the spider queen. She just throws spiders at me, but when I kill her, I get her head as a hat, and when wearing it, spiders won't aggro onto me, but beefalo will, and I think pigmen too. Sadly, this winter the Deerclops did not spawn. He drops his eyeball, which is a really good umbrella, but bosses are not guaranteed to spawn each season. When the sun comes up, the snow is replaced with rain, and winter replaced with spring, meaning I just did not starve for 1 whole year. What you saw was just 1 year of Don't Starve. I haven't even tried to beat the game yet. It took me a while to really kill all the bosses before I challenged Maxwell. It actually took a whole nother year, which was jam-packed full of action. I got my spider army to fight the goose moose, and they lost, so I killed the duck in their honor. I got another chance at the dragonfly, and just before killing it, it despawned, and I never did get to kill it. And this time around, I got to battle the Deerclops, and win. And in addition to all that, I went underground, started a Rabbit Man town, went even deeper to the labyrinth, and had my craziest fight yet with the Guardian. And I actually died here. I got hentied by a bunch of fucking tentacles. But I got resurrected from one of the 2 stones I'd found. I almost lost my world right there. And upon my return, the labyrinth would never come to have another Guardian. I actually got cheap-shotted by a shadow tentacle and I died again. But this time I had a life-giving amulet on. After all that, which took many real-life hours and a lot of real-life stress and a ton of don't starve days, I had one thing left to do. I was beating the game. The first thing I have to do is find Maxwell's portal. This will let me go through 5 challenge worlds where I will have an item called the Divining Rod, and I will use it to find 5 things. A potato thing, a crank thing, a box thing, and a ring thing. And then I have to find a place in the world to craft another portal, so I can go into the next challenge world. All the while staying alive, since if I die, I spawn back at the portal's entrance in my world. I have to do this for 5 worlds. All the footage you see now is sped up 4 times. Maxwell shows up just to shit himself. And here we go. I forgot to mention, when I start the challenge world, the only items the game gives me are the items your character spawns into the game with. So I got my weapon, helmet, and 4 meat. Gotta grab the divining rod or I'll be here forever. Then I have to do all the basic collecting of sticks, flint, wood, and grass, pretty much starting all over again on a new world. My goals are staying alive, of course, but also getting a good amount of food to survive this world and the next until I need more, and also outlining the world with the divining rod equipped. When I get close enough to one of the 5 things, this rod will start to make an alerting sound, letting me know I'm going the right way. Immediately I found a swamp where all the spiders, fishmen, and tentacles are fighting to the death. This is really good and can give me a lot of free food, but most of it would be monster meat from the spiders, and unless I can find some pigs to turn into werepigs and recycle the meat, it's pretty useless. It's also crazy dangerous for me to be here with the amount of spiders, fish, and tentacles present. The geometry and monster spawns in these challenge worlds can be intense, and this is just one example of that. I jump through a wormhole at night and start a fire to cook all this fish. I'm in a quarry, which is alright. I could use the gold to make a science machine if I needed to, which I eventually will, but I like to just speedrun it and try to escape as soon as possible. The divinator starts ramping up in sound and it leads me to the portal. Now I'm getting chased by a tall bird and ran into all the knights that protect the portal. I'm gonna notepad of this one, but it had a wormhole next to it. Jump through it and immediately the divinator goes off. Now I have one of the 4 things, and I found the portal too. Just 3 more things to go. Running around at night and found another wormhole. I can't see shit, so I lit one tree on fire and the whole forest overreacted. At least I could see though. The wormhole dropped me off on an island full of murder hornets, and one of the 3 things is here. Just 2 left. I wanted to outline the whole island just to be safe, but it ended up doing me no good, but I got a lot of bees on me at least. I really did piss off every single bee. I jump back through the portal and of course get spawn camped by a dog. Surprisingly, the tall bird had anger issues and took it out on all the knights for me. I had to light trees on fire so I could see while running around, and my sanity got so low I got into a fight with a nightmare while it was pitch black out and had to light fires so I could see when to dodge. And then I got into a fight with a bunch of spiders. And when day came, guess who I found?
Surprise, motherfucker!
Backup has arrived. The gnome also had a thing with him, so now we only have 1 left to get. Chester ain't helping me find shit but another wormhole. Plopped down into another swamp. Chester almost got his ass beat. And in the swamp I ended up finding the final thing, so we're all ready to go to the next world. Made myself a science machine so I can get myself a bug net. Now I can finally catch some fireflies, which I can use to make myself a miner hat so I can see holy fucking shit. So I can make myself a miner hat, which would be very, very important later on. I ran into a giant wolf den fortress. I got ambushed by the biggest crowd of spiders I've ever seen. but at least it was nighttime, so I could not see. Chester died, but at least I made myself an alchemy engine, which I purposely did not place down. I kept it so that I could actually place it down whenever I want to. When jumping through the portal, it lets you pick 4 items that you want to bring with you, and nothing more. So I brought all the gold I could hold, all the meat, my gnome, and my beefalo hat, and now I'm on to the next world. This took 7 days. Scares me awake by shitting himself. Back to beating up trees. For every world I go into, I'm gonna have to restart with all the basic materials. Unless, of course, I decide to bring some to the next world. The world the game gave me this time is already raining, and the daytime does not last very long. I was already starting to starve in a game called Don't Starve. You know, it's kind of crazy how I broke the #1 rule. But it's starting to scare me now that I've already cooked all my meat. Typically, you would want to keep your meat uncooked and then cook it later when it starts to rot. That way you increase the longevity of the life of the meat. So I didn't get to do that, and now I'm on a time limit before I have to go out and get more meat. Keep in mind, meat is all I can eat as Wigfrid. I can't eat berries, butter, butterfly wings, or carrots. I'm gonna need beefalo, qualiphants, drumsticks, eggs, fish, and pigs. And pigs, qualiphants, eggs, and drumsticks are hard to come by, so I'm mostly limited to fish and beefalo. I'd be eating Chester right now if I knew where his ass was. Running around like a chicken with its head cut off, I ran into a pig fortress. I haven't even pranked them yet and they already want to beat my ass, so I caught their house on fire. It was nighttime and I had to get through, so I made a battle helmet and ran through it, barely escaping the most world star ass beating of a lifetime. Found my sugar mama. Beefalo did not care at all that I stole their sacred treasure. Just after a narrow strip of bees, I found the teleporter. Look who I just found.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Look at all these weird ass birds I found. Found a thing. Right next to that thing was another thing, so now I just need one more thing. Ran past all these birds again. Had to build a fire so I could fight off the starvation by cooking all the meat. I purposely did not cook the qualiphant trunk because I'm gonna need that for something later. I get so much meat, it's unreal. Running through some Scooby-Doo spooky-ass forest, I ended up coming across the final thing I needed. I didn't have any space for it, so I burnt the whole forest down. Tee-hee. These beefalo thought I was one of them, so they tried to breed me. I told them my star sign, then they left me alone. I placed down the alchemy engine and make a breezy vest for the cold. I do this ahead of time because I know what's coming. The sun goes down and it starts to snow, but I built myself enough materials to make another alchemy engine, which I'm gonna save for the next world. Trying to make my way to the portal to get out of here, but the snow is hitting hard. This was my last best chance at gathering enough meat, resources, and equipment before heading into the upcoming least forgiving worlds, and I did not take it. Bad idea since it's going to get harder from here, and I have 3 more worlds to go. I made my way back to the portal and quickly slapped all the parts together. Gotta do it quick before the knights wake up and start shooting me. They woke up. I decided to bring my breezy vest, beefalo hat, and meat. I wanted to bring my spear, but someone in my chat demanded I brought the gnomes. So I left their asses here and brought my spear instead. I barely made it out while getting shot at by one of the knights. This whole world took 7 days. Sleeping on a cold-ass ground with the only warmth around is Maxwell's pants when he shits himself. Yep, it's winter. He left me a fire though, with a chest next to it filled with a bunch of useless crap. Same thing as before, chop all the trees. The geometry is starting to get really weird. Also, we have new rocks. The divinator rod led me to a thing, but it's guarded by a walrus camp, so that was great. I threw down my alchemy engine and now I have a walking stick. Turns out I'm not the only one that likes beating the shit out of qualiphants. That tentacle actually ended up killing a blue qualiphant, which is actually a wintertime variant of the normal qualiphant, so it drops a blue qualiphant trunk, which I can use to make an even better puffy vest that's better than the breezy vest I have now. It's what I would have used in my world if I never found the Bearger. I wanted to lure this beefalo away from its herd so I could prank it, but I fucked up. Ran into another walrus camp. I kinda wish I could show all the footage of me running around through these challenge worlds so you can grasp how strenuous and wacky and lengthy the process was. But the VOD was 5 hours long, and even with a walking stick plus the footage being sped up to 4 times, The whole challenge worlds would have taken about an hour and a half unedited. Finally found another thing. The rod sent me through a bunch of tall birds and led me to a portal, but thankfully for me, all the tall birds have anger issues and beat the living crap out of all the knights. Found Chester cheating on me again with a lot of spiders, and this time it was the utmost maximum amount of spiders I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god, look at all these spiders and tentacles fighting and killing each other. Even the gnome was here with his thing. Take a look at all these spiders and tentacles killing each other while I'm barely able to get out of here. It gets to nighttime and I have to use my fireball jutsu on a spider so I can see, and because I can't make a fire, and then I almost die to a bunch of tentacles because I have no armor on. And of course I get jumped by some dude's dog on top of all that stupid shit. Had to make a power move here. I left Chester so he wouldn't die and gave him the gnome so he wouldn't be lonely, but I had to go through a swamp maze loaded with tentacles that will very easily stun knock me to death. But the final thing is past here, so I have to do it. Tentacles are everywhere, and you can't tell where they are because of all the snow on the ground, so your best bet is to get out the walking stick, run, and don't stop. Tragedy strikes when I find out that I explored the whole area of the swamp just to find out it was a waste of time. The thing wasn't even there. This is the part of the stream where I was losing my shit because hours, real life hours, have passed and I could not find the final thing. I found everything else but this final thing. I have gone up and down and all the way left and all the way right for hours at a time, and I could not find the thing. Wigfrid especially was losing her shit when we both went to a whole new area to find out it was another waste of time and that nothing spawned here. We were both going insane. I could not believe it, but it took 9 days for me to find the final area that would have the final thing that I needed, and it was the most dense forest I've ever seen in this game, with spiders everywhere, of course. You could not imagine my joy of hearing nothing but the same dull tone of the divining rod, leading me nowhere for days and hours at a time, just for the volume of it to start ramping up the moment it got the scent of that final thing. And now I have all the pieces I need to get out of here. I had to make my way from the very bottom of the map to the very top of the map again, fighting through spiders, tall birds, tentacles, and dogs the whole way through, while having to stay warm. Made it back to the teleporter and had to leave Chester, but I left him the gnome, and brought my meat, walking stick, puffy vest, and tentacle spike with me. I wish I knew how many hours, but this whole shit show took almost 10 days. Maxwell is really not okay with me being decent at the game. This world is also permanently winter, and it was pretty funny of Maxwell to leave me a backpack. Little shit knows I can't figure out how to wear a coat and backpack at the same time. Found someone's base and they actually had a really cool hat, so I stole it and stole all their wood and sticks too. I ran into a problem. These monoliths are blocking off a section of the world, and the only way I can lower them is by going insane. So I'll just go insane later. All these pigs wanted to go to sleep, so I thought it'd be funny if I woke them all up. Found another one of Chester's reincarnations. He wants to see me win so badly. I hung around spiders for too long and I became the perfect amount of insane for these walls to lower themselves. I've killed so many of these things, I'm surprised Chester still wants to hang out with me. Found my second thing, and then I found a weird wall of these rocks. Christopher Walrus Lumbus over here was not having it with these natives. I can't believe it, but I actually found a touchstone here, which, funny enough, if I die and respawn there, I'm just gonna die again because I'm not gonna have enough sticks or grass to make a torch to keep myself warm until I get back to my corpse. I have no idea where these gnomes keep finding these box things. It was dark and I had a nightmare chasing me, but I ran into all these pigs with tiki torches and just ran around them all night. So lucky me.
Oh, fuck yeah! This is the shit! Kill me now!
I kicked that nightmare's ass and then I broke my way through the rock wall and into the next area. Divining rod starts to go haywire and I found the final thing. Now all I need left is just to find the portal, and it actually ends up being pretty close to the final thing. Made it to the portal, and this time there's no daddy issue having ass tall birds to fix my problems. So I go to war with the knights. I left Chester with our gnome friend as usual and bring what little meat I have left. My walking stick, tentacle spike, and puffy vest. I'll come to regret a couple things in a second, the puffy vest being one of them. This world surprisingly took only 4 days, and now I'm onward to my final world.
We never got the hat.
Where's the sun? Oh, that's right, we don't have one because the whole challenge world is pitch black. So my first regret is bringing my puffy vest with me, which I did not need, instead of the cut stone that I had, which I need. The second regret I have is not having a miner hat. I like how just a few feet from my face you can hear a tentacle having a fight with either a spider or a bunch of mermen, and I can't even see it happening because it's too dark. Also, there's a merman house right here next to this lantern the game just decided to put down there for me, and if they weren't off fighting a tentacle, I would have been ambushed right then and there, and keep in mind, I have no armor. But wait, because it gets much worse. I am stuck in an exclusive swamp biome in the pitch black, and I am unable to see where any tentacles are at any given time. The only time I can tell when I'm about to run into a tentacle is when I get close enough for the tentacle's name to appear.
This is so scary. Oh shit.
So all I can do is run and don't stop. Even when I go to light a fire to keep Charlie off my back, doing so could very easily get me killed from a tentacle. Almost nowhere is safe to stop.
There are tentacles everywhere, dude. Holy shit. I have no armor.
The cherry on the top is the divining rod is letting me know that I am by no means anywhere near one of the 5 things I need to find.
Boards? Oh shit.
Found some free boards, but it is not going to save me from the bad mood I'm about to have.
Oh shit. Silken rope. Fuck.
I found some lightning bugs, which are an ingredient to get a miner hat, but I don't have any materials to make a bug net. You can probably tell that in this challenge world, almost every step you're running into tentacles, spiders, and merm huts without even knowing.
Fuck, of course. Oh! Ouch. Wow, 1%, dude. Hilarious. Okay, well, hopefully that was enough.
I needed silk for the net, but of course all the spiders would only drop me monster meat and spider glands.
Okay. Now I just need 1 rope. Oh, you fucker! I didn't have rope. Oh, no!
I never discovered rope, so now I need to get materials to make a science machine, which I don't have.
That sucks so bad. Fuck, I can't believe I never made rope. Oh! Fuck, I need gold. I just need like 1 piece of gold.
Keep in mind I'm 3 shot at the moment with no armor and not full health, so a tentacle can also stun lock me into 2 hits, so all I really need are 2 tentacles to hit me at the same time.
Now I'm really concerned about food.
My food is bound to run out any day now, and it seems that every time I light a fire, our run almost ends. I ran into a merm hut, and now a bunch of mermen are trying to fight me in the dark while I'm insane, which will spawn nightmares to come fight me too, which are pitch black like the dark, so they're going to be coming from anywhere at any point in time. I found a touchstone, but it's almost useless, as if I die, I'm practically dead anyway. So, some good news finally. I ran into a merm hut that was preoccupied with a tentacle, and they started killing each other, so I was able to get some free fish and frog legs. I've sped the clip up back to 4 times, because you get the ordeal. You're running in the pitch black into whatever it is you run into, without even knowing what it is. Could be spiders, tentacles, and fishmen. It actually is all of them. It took 2 days for me to get out of that swamp and into a new biome, but for this biome, there are booby traps everywhere. I finally got enough gold and rocks to make a science machine to make a bug net, but when I had enough rope, I found out I didn't have a single stick, meaning I have to go back to the swamp and run through all these booby traps, and I even step on some on my way back. After getting chased to hell and back from a ton of nightmares, I finally got enough sticks to get a bug net, and then I caught just enough lightning bugs to make a miner hat, finally. Now on to our next terrible issue is I have not found a single one of the 5 things I need to find, and I have practically no food. After running through a bunch of spiders, I was actually happy to find a town full of pigs. Great for me, one small issue, it's constant nighttime, meaning the pigs will never be outside. So I will have to break down their house, force them out, and then kill them, and hope I get meat instead of a pig butt. Then I absolutely got ambushed by every nightmare I've ever had. I found my first thing, just 4 more to go. Don't Starve's ambience sounds really good when you're not in a swamp hearing nothing but tentacles rumbling. I have to burn down these houses and then kill the pigs when they run out, which is going to absolutely obliterate the population, and I'm gonna have to build more houses if I want more pigs, which I'm definitely not gonna have enough time to be doing. I have no idea how he did it, but our homeboy, the gnome, somehow fought his way through the dark and tentacles and spiders and mermen just to bring me his favorite box thing.
Now hug me, brother!
Just need 2 left. Had to break my way through another rock wall. Why is it always the most spiders I've ever seen? I had to fight through so many spiders, but I got my 3rd thing. I have 1 thing left to find, and then the portal. But one problem, I have not 1 piece of food, and I'm less than half on my stomach. I have all 4 things, now all I need is just the portal. That's it. That's all I need, and I'm done. It took 5 days, but I found the portal.
Okay, here we go, baby.
I started getting chased by 2 of the knights and shot at from a distance by another one, and I have no armor, so it's dealing raw damage. And then I start to starve to death.
Second. Run way the hell away. Fuck, I wanted that. Sniped me, the little fucker. There we go. Right here. Back here, you little fucker. Ah! Turn it on.
I could have left here, but I'm not leaving my small peculiar man.
We have to bring our small peculiar man. We have to bring him. We have to bring our small peculiar man. Guys, I can't leave him. We're starving. Oh shit. Let's go. We beat Don't Starve, baby. And we brought our small peculiar man.
I just beat Don't Starve within 2 shots. Do you see how my health is 74 right there? I was starving to death because of 0 hunger, and the Rook Knight hit me as I was teleporting, like right before I had iframes, so he dealt enough damage to leave me 1 shot, and there were 2 knights, and the other one was coming up to hit me. So I actually almost died at the end. When I wake up with my small peculiar man, funnily enough, Maxwell is not here to greet me. I don't exactly know what this place is, but I think it's considered Maxwell's base. It has a farm and a few chests full of just random stuff. A bunch of crock pots and a bunch of science machines too. But when I keep going straight up to the throne room, we come to see the mastermind behind it all.
Look at, oh, it's us. What the fuck is this? Hold on a minute. Why am I here? Oh, wait. That's because I already beat the world as I already beat the game as Wigfrid. That's why Maxwell's not here.
Yep, Maxwell was supposed to be here instead, and I end up freeing him and taking his place. But I did that years ago with Wigfrid, and the Wigfrid in the chair now is the same one from an old save. Funny enough.
Oh well, he'll keep company. key looks like it will fit. You can free Wigfrid, but I doubt her captors will be pleased. Well, you know, I was really wishing it was Maxwell. Oh well, we already saved him. Now we gotta beat the game as Maxwell. Yeah, bullshit. Well, at least I have my small peculiar man. It's me again. The end! And so the cycle continues. Will Wigfrid ever escape? Perhaps she too will tire. She won't. Perhaps she too will tire of this wretched place and use her new powers to tempt the unsuspecting. The mysterious beings that control this place still lurk in the shadows, and new challenges will soon be revealed. Until then, the Don't Starve team, for science!
So beating the game, you unlock Maxwell. He pretty much has bad health, but his sanity is constantly recovering. He also starts with his own fighting stuff, and has a book that he can spend sanity on to bring forth some shadow servants to chop wood and do other stuff for him. After beating the game, it just spits me out of the portal. Hi, Chester. And I can pretty much do whatever I want, so long as, of course, I don't starve. The ending was an incredible rush. I was one shot away from dying with no food, which took 4 hours to even get through all the challenge worlds, and a total of 20.5 hours from day 1 to beating the challenge worlds to now. And after the whole struggle and all the time I've spent on this world, it's a bit awkward. I feel like I've domesticated this game and my save feels like a trophy to me, but at the same time, I'm done playing. It's like the process of playing the game really does make me content with it in a completionist sense, even though the game goes on forever. But in a game like Don't Starve, there isn't a final mission, there isn't an end goal, there is no real completion. In this game, and any game like this, the only victory and gratification is surviving every day for as long as the days come, and having a mound of wealth, of tools and machines, and food, in a game where all of it can be taken from you. None of your wealth is safe just because you put it in a chest. Your whole base isn't safe just because you built a lightning rod, and you are not safe just because you have food, armor, weapons, and walls. Bosses constantly respawning, summer's constant heat, and winter's constant cold. The wilderness was harsh, and surviving it has made me equally harsh. Nothing is safe, and nothing is safe from me. This is the beauty of Don't Starve's Permadeath. And speaking of harsh, what if I told you that in the genre of Permadeath, there is a game that allows you to play the monster that delivers permanent character death.
Fuck my life to hell. Here goes Fat Cock, but he's got levering. Oh, but you got fanning. So look, they both ran out of bullets.
You're not the only one in the bayou, hunting and hiding, shooting and cutting, killing and dying. Hunt Showdown is a game that will have you experiencing the worst and the best of it. And baby, you better believe it's a battle royale, player versus everything, free for all, permadeath. Death isn't always final, especially since dying ain't a way of making a living. You gotta get that bounty, and so do they. The very same permadeath that is thrown your way, shot your way, you shoot it right back to cinder. Hunt Showdown delivers a unique taste of permadeath to the table, and I'd like to bring you all to that rough buffet, but this video's gotta hit 100 likes. If you can show me this video series is entertaining, then I'd like to continue it. Thanks to Annex for helping with the edits, link in the comments, and thanks for watching.